There we go. Hopefully it should be working now. Should be good to go. Sorry about that. I did a BIOS update this morning on my PC, so a couple of settings were changed until I finish setting that up. Well, hello there. Today we're returning to the Redwoods, and mostly going to work on details, things like that. Probably add a couple landscape features, because we're pretty far along in this biome, so I'd like to finish up the main layout as much as I can and add little details here and there. For example, these riverbanks, I really hate having boring, flat riverbanks, so we're gonna solve that. I started on it back here a little while back, but you know, we need more than that. See how these look. Found some good mega scans to fit the area. I think that'll work. Yeah. So I'm actually going to bump up the size of these permanently so it shadows correctly, because I want to use them in the redwoods, and none of these trees are small, so the stump doesn't need to be small either. So how's everyone doing today? Also, apologies for the late start. I didn't want everybody to have to watch a loading screen, so wanted to wrap that up before starting it. Perfect. Okay. So first I'm going to take a look at what I have for the riverbanks. I grabbed several things for this. I usually just like to lay them all out so I can see them while I work. Kind of depends how early you are in learning, but I would say if it's good to watch some tutorials, but I wouldn't overly rely on them. A lot of them have not the best practices, and if you rely too much on tutorials, you never really end up learning how to do things yourself and solve problems on your own. So it's good to start with tutorials, and then downloading some of the sample projects from Epic is really good. Digging through those to see how they work, or even downloading some of the cinematography ones, because they're not at all optimized for actual gameplay, since they're just meant for cinema work. And because of that, it's pretty good to learn how to optimize based on that. If you can make that run well, you can make your game run well. Go. Yeah, I just like to set these out beforehand so I can see everything. Helps me visualize what I'm going to do. But yeah, if you're planning to use Unreal Engine, the sample projects are very good. You know what? Let's grab all of these. And I still haven't looked at this myself, but Project Titan. It's one of their newest sample projects. It's supposed to be really big and have a pretty wide variety of environments, things like that. I think you could probably learn quite a bit from that. Yeah, exactly. It helps. I think I definitely want to put a couple of these near the river. Where'd the other one go? How did I lose a stump? Oh, there it is. Oh, I guess I didn't save the size. We can rectify this. Okay. Yeah, I think this river could be really nice once we've gotten a little further on it, so I'd like to get some of that done today. This will be a pretty time-consuming process, but such is environment design. For some things like foliage, you'll paint it with the foliage painting tool, but when you're detailing things, I at least prefer to manually place everything. To give it that nice personal touch. Yes, I believe so. I remember discussing a couple of the aquatics. Oh look, the man himself. There you go. Official answer. You know, I think this would look really nice with some moss hanging off of it. I think and also this this stream won't stay this shallow, if that was why you were wondering. I'll be making it deeper here pretty soon. Probably not today because it'll take some time to make it look really nice, but nonetheless. Let's try these out. My build has to be pretty beefy for actually developing the game. So mine, I have a Ryzen 7950X for my CPU, 64 gigs of RAM, and a 4080. For the record, you don't need anything near that to play the game. Let's see. Make sure I'm not... Okay. Oh, there we go. I'm going to move them once I get them to paint, but just need to place a few. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you knew that you don't have to have this this size. Wait, this size. I was reading something at the same time. You don't have to have this particular build to be able to run the game. You know what? I think we're gonna manually place these, actually. It's going to be too much of a hassle to get it working the way I want. Let's try these. Take a look at them. Yeah, I've had to upgrade quite a bit to work on the game because when you're running it in the editor, it's much heavier than the actual compiled game that everybody else will be playing. So working on a huge map like this requires a ton of power if I want to get it done in a timely manner. I think we're going to use these. A little bigger. I really like hangy plants. So here we are with the hangy plants. I think, yeah, we'll just make this a little bit more dense and it should be visible, but right now they're a bit too thin on their own. This kind of thing is usually the most time-consuming task when you're making an environment, all the little details. But it's what makes it feel unique and alive. Thank you, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I would think that build would run most games. Definitely don't need a 7950 for gaming, so wouldn't recommend it. It's also kind of warm. Okay, there we go. That's a bit closer to what I was looking for. So, what we're going to do... Just need to make sure these, since they're outside of the instance foliage everywhere, we want to do a little manual optimization. Just need to limit the distance that the wind movement will happen and clamp the shadow updates a little bit. You know what? I'm actually going to make this into act level actor so I can use it more than once. So what this does, we can put this all together into one actor, basically, that I can drag and drop and use in a few places. It's also really good for performance. And just like that. That is a editor bug that you'll see sometimes. It's actually still there. It just doesn't want you to know. If we update literally anything in the blueprint, it'll reappear. Boom. Just like that. Beautiful. Moving on. Definitely need more rocks along the side. But I think I'm going to go ahead and put this stump somewhere first. So let me look around for a moment. I think right here. Yeah, for example, with developing the game, in the editor right now I'm using 14 gigs of video memory, but it is nowhere near that in the actual compiled game, so you can see why it would be useful to have a build that's a bit overkill for gaming. Definitely took a long time to save up for it, not gonna lie. I'm glad you say so. I also think it's important to be transparent as a developer. Now, I don't think we need anything hangy on this one. Oh yeah, it was not a fun purchase. And that is also true. So I think we're going to put some roots maybe along this area. Ah, here we are. Let's separate these. I got really lucky though when I got my 4080. I actually got it on a sale, um, which back then was definitely not common. It was back when all the GPUs were ridiculous prices. I guess they still are, but even worse. I just happened to get really lucky and caught a sale. I think we're gonna use these over there. Maybe right here. Compared to a person, these roots are going to be pretty large, but you know, redwood roots would be huge in real life, so this makes sense to me. Make sure, yep, that's what I was watching for. Didn't want it sticking out of the ground. You kind of have to layer these a little bit since I can't really have the full thing sticking out of the ground without some sculpting around it. Which we could do, but we'll see. I think we can make it turn out good this way. Thank you. I'm glad you think so. I think this has become my favorite biome. It used to be the jungle, but there's just something about this one. But I'm also a little further on this than I am on the jungle, so I guess that also matters. Okay, that's a little more what I was going for. Trying to make it where you could still walk over them pretty easily. Don't want to make it too crazy. So definitely down here, we need some big rocks, things like that, to cover up these sides. Maybe a little landscape sculpting too. We'll see how it goes first. So we're gonna grab all of these. Maybe not the roots. I'll move these down there. Totally normal flying rocks. Don't question it. It's magic. Here we go. Yeah, I really love using huge rocks all over the place. So you're going to be subject to that today. They make a scene look so nice. I think I left one back here. This one. I think we're also going to add a log that goes across the creek. I've actually been meaning to go to this park near my house in real life. There's a nice sloped area with a bunch of roots, things like that. Could definitely use it for this biome. I could go photo scan it. I'm gonna move this right over here. Excessively large? Maybe. But it looks cool. And that's what matters. Good start. A couple of these, I think. Whoops. That's what I thought. None of these have a backside, which we can make it work. Oops. And we're not going to make the whole riverbank like this, but just some of the area I think could use this. We're going to do something a little different for the end. Not just yet, though. Let's try this one out. I know this might not be the most exciting thing to watch, but the result is going to be good. Not sure yet if this is going to work for what I'm trying to do. We'll see. Maybe if we use it like this. I think that'll work. I'm glad that you're able to enjoy watching it. I know some people probably wouldn't be excited to watch a slow process like this, but I really care about making the map interesting and unique. So, while some parts I have quicker ways to do things, there are also plenty of areas like this where I place everything manually. And you'll see a lot more of this as we get further in the game. A lot of what I'm doing right now is trying to just get everywhere set up. And then usually I go back after that and add more details. But we're already pretty far in the Redwoods biome specifically, so I figured it was time to put down some details. That's just something to watch for, the little edges of these sticking out. We have it. It's in the jungle biome. Don't remember what week it was on the stream, but I did stream it while I set up the horseshoe crab temple. Your commitment to it is appreciated. It is definitely one of the best things on the map. Yes, there are different edible plants. And we're actually still adding some. Oh yes. Horseshoe crabs are my thing. I love them. Go, just have to make sure there's not any empty space showing. See, this is why nanite is wonderful, because we can just go crazy with rocks. It's fantastic. And it's true, you will not be stuck with berries all day. Usually I don't know as many answers to gameplay related questions, but that one I actually helped make a couple of the models for the resources. Yes, crustacean enthusiasts. I feel like I'm starting a cult. Is that what's happening here? Am I gonna get arrested? I think the real question is, will it be worth getting arrested? To which the answer is yes. Don't listen to me, I give bad advice. It's true. The almighty crab. You cannot be stopped. I think we're going to use one of these concave ones. Yeah, this is definitely becoming a cult. But you know what? I'm okay with it. You're absolutely right. It is the end form. The peak of evolution. I love how it's 25-ish degrees Fahrenheit outside right now. but my room is probably 80 degrees because of my PC. Rustation Station. Look at that. Perfect fit. Yeah, you've been working on the map, so I'm sure it is pretty warm. You heard that right. Islander himself on the map. You heard it here first, folks. So anything you don't like, it was him. Oh, I didn't know it was actually hot over there right now. It was starting to get warm here, but in the past few days we had a cold front come in, so it's been much colder. Oh yeah. I have a friend in Australia that is having the same experience right now. It's just so strange to me to hear. Luckily, the other side of the creek will be able to copy and paste a lot of this and just move things around, so it'll be much faster. But I kind of enjoy this process, honestly. But I guess that makes sense. Don't think I'd be doing this if I didn't. So to cover up these open ends, I think I'll use this again. Excellent. And this will be a great place to have a log going across for people to walk across the stream here. I don't want you to have to walk several kilometers to be able to get around. Because this area is actually much larger than it looks. I knew we'd have a couple seams. Perfect. So I think I actually won't need concave ones. That I'm not 100% sure of, because that would make sense to me for that to be the case. But I may be wrong if I said yes. We go. I like having the nice blending between these. That would be pretty entertaining to watch. Now we'll just cover up some of these seams. There we go. Might even be able to just paint some rocks here. Let me see how well this works. Just trying to look for any seams that we need to cover up. Like that. Sounds good. I will definitely still be here. Any more? That's a yes. We can't allow this. Actually, you know what? I might be wrong. That is not a seam. Just looks like it. Yes. There's actually quite a bit. Um, I'll probably add a little bit more variety, but it just depends on the area because it can be a little dense to walk through in some spots, so still experimenting with what works the best. I agree. I I like a dense jungle, but at the same time I just need to make sure that it's easily traversable in most areas. There will probably be some that I intentionally leave dense, just for a more realistic feeling. Ah, there we go. Okay, I would say that covers up this side. So we're just gonna copy it over to the other side and move things around a little bit. I'll do that part separately. Make sure I didn't copy that foliage instance. remove some of these painted rocks because they don't quite fit the same over here. I knew it. Hiding under the earth. You will not fool me. Now, hello there. What a kind individual dropping into the stream. I did do a little bit of work on the grasslands, yes. I believe it was a few days ago. I have a lot of plans for it, and I'm custom making some stuff for it, so that'll take a little bit longer before it's actually done. I think we might try this out. Actually, now that I see it, it's not the vibe. I don't think that fits very well either. possibly this one. And maybe we'll go with a cliff. A little bit too big. This one will take a little work to cover up. How about... It's good to reuse the same models where we can, just for performance reasons. So usually I like to rotate them around a little bit, then it's not so obvious it's the same one. Works out really well. There we go. I would say that works pretty well. So now I don't know for sure if I'm going to do quite what I have in mind. But let's see how this looks. I think they just look that way because of the roots. Oh wait, nope. Floating one right there. Actually doesn't need to be inside of a rock anyways. But yeah, the redwoods can kind of look like that sometimes because they have these huge roots under them. So it looks a little odd. So we're going to change the material on this one because it's not going to fit quite how I want. This one's meant for a beach. Let's see if we can get it to fit in this area pretty well. And let's see how it looks. I think we're actually going to make a different material for this. Oh yes, that's a wonderful idea. So we'll have to customize this just a little bit. I think we can make this work. Just need to add a few more. Now that one's a little big on its own, so we're gonna drop that down a little bit. Excellent. See how this looks. And we can fill in some of the empty space with some flatter rocks so that we can actually walk on it. I think I'll just use some of the redwood ones. Definitely can remove a couple of these ferns. We'll do that in a moment. Perfect. We don't really need mountainside ferns. And I think that we should shape up the side of this a little bit because it's a little bit too flat. think we'll try out this one, see how it looks. So what you're seeing here is a little bit of the water simulation coming back through, so I'll probably have to redo it for the waterfall, but that's fine. I'm actually planning to replace the waterfall entirely. And I apologize if we end the stream a little bit early today. I'm not doing it yet, but I'm still getting over last week's sickness. It ended up being the flu, so that's fun. Apparently the flu is pretty heavy in my area right now. Lots of fun. Starting to look a bit better. I just really don't like flat cliffs. It's not exciting. Actually might need to do a little bit of erosion on the edge of the cliff here too. There we go. Before it was a little bit steep, so it would have been a little hard to walk on. Okay, now we can just even this out a little bit. Don't want it to be flat, but also don't want it to be impossible to walk over. So I think the last thing we'll do before we call it for today, the landscape down here in this grasslands area, that's also just a little bit too flat and featureless. So I think we're going to add some landscape variation. And then I think we might work on that area for the next stream, just so we're not in the Redwoods too often. Let's see what we can do for this. It's not bad as it is, but a little bit repetitive. So I think we're going to do something different. See what that looks like. Yeah, that could work. Usually when I do this, I try not to linger too long on one area, just so we don't sink it down too much. We'll probably still have to smooth it out a little bit after this. Now we're going to try a different pattern, just to mix it up a little bit. See, to me, this looks better. We don't want the same hills repeated over and over. There are just some spots like this that I think will smooth out a little bit. Just so it's not difficult to walk around. Now that is going to bother me if I leave it. Perfect. Just trying to make sure to not leave any areas that are too difficult to walk on. Or spots like this, where it's a little bit too jagged. Alright, so I think this is where we'll stop for the day. I know usually I stream a little longer, but I've been extremely sleepy since I've been sick, so probably take a little nap here in a moment. But thank you all for stopping by. I think next week we're going to work on this area you're looking at right now. Kind of a meadows area. And I think we'll add some streams, things like that to it. I'll do a little looking at reference photos of meadows and get some ideas. But again, thank you all for stopping in, and I'll be back next week on the same day, I believe.